Attention gamers, the last game I recorded for this channel made me think I needed a change. Every game I had a KDA pretty enough to take to prom, but one death with the weight of my 4 sped inbred drunk dumb flamingo as teammates, and it was a loss. I needed to step out of the game and into the real world. Luckily I had a work trip planned to Hershey coming up. A week away from this piss pit game, and the ability to purchase literal type 2 diabetes was all I needed. I figured I would come back strong, play something brainless like an AP static Shiv hybrid misfortune, and lick some free LP off the wall with it. But apparently Riot decided to change Duskblade, and so my first game back featured this. And a lot of this. So today I figured I would show that game, one because it featured some of the most spectacular support gameplay I've seen in a while, but also to show how Riot has successfully ruined another item, and then for a bonus game I will show clips from a video I recorded with the For Fun squad where we rushed 5 Duskblades and deep-throated this OPness to an easy victory. So if you are excited to see me bitch about my support while getting smurfed on only to then make 4 challengers carry me in the game after, then please abuse my subscribe button and let's get into the games. Alright, so as I mentioned, my Thresh was first timing a computer, and what better way to show the world that you are new to breathing air and controlling your hands than to waste your relic stacks on the first 2 melee minions. So today's menu did not feature a level 2 advantage for yours truly. But it's okay, because when we did eventually get there, this man had big plans. Someone contact Synapse and see if he's accepting submissions, because I could already tell this guy was gonna be a walking montage. But I can only talk so much shit when a minute later he did land a hook on Taylor Swift riding her stage, so we promptly shanked the skank, and then I exhibit why I too am stuck in the same piss pit elo as this Thresh, who I am flaming as I show the world why taking 0 attack speed runes isn't great in all ins, especially when you are an enjoyer of cancelling auto attacks, firing others into minions, and breathing exclusively out of your mouth. But hey, it all worked out. I then overstay longer than my in-laws after a Thanksgiving dinner, when I just want to strip down to my willies and rip ass a few hundred times and Dutch oven their daughter with every single one. So of course Jarvan the Third's little bitch boy comes in trying to do something worthy of their bot laners typing worth in chat, but luckily I know these streets like the top of my tits, so I get out. Which long story short ends in a big bait with him regretting the day he abused a scuttle crab and me totally not dying right after. Then Thresh is all like, hey, it's been a whole 3 minutes since the last time I demonstrated that I was born without eyeballs and a factory defective brain, as him whiffing a hook is his cue to go balls deep while asking me to RSVP via lantern to the dead bitch party, which I'm like, hell no dude, I've got other plans and they don't involve dying. Okay, they did involve dying, but at least the tower was willing to be a wingman to get me a fat shutdown. Now you may think, oh well, that Samira is just blue dick smurfing on an OP champ, but I assure you she had the positional awareness of a French fry. And for all this Thresh's shortcomings, I have to give it to him, the dude definitely had a proficiency in grabbing chicks who definitely wanted nothing to do with him, and I just happened to be the beneficiary of such pervertedness. I figured if he did live the whole peeping Tom lifestyle, then he would be down to do a little bush bobbing pop out and rack up a few indecent exposure charges in front of Ariana Grande, and I've gotta say, he did not disappoint. But luckily with this build I could just keep whipping laxatives up into the sky and having it shit down onto these bombshells until they were low enough for Lantern Larry to come and hit a hook and have Rift Alexa give him all the credit for the kill. Then I want to slap Jack Sparrow's side hoe around, but Jarvie Jr. is here, so I'm thinking I'll just ride the fuckboy express to freedom until that plan falls apart, so I resort to my backup entitled Flash Further into Danger, do something greedy, and then hope it all works out. This dramatic cut is brought to you by Manscaped, the only thing more responsible for getting guys lucky than the concept of prom night. Introducing the Netflix to your loofah's blockbuster, the Body Buffer. This is one hell of a cutting-edge rubber thing, equipped with thousands of little pleasure points specifically designed to nuke dead skin and gross shit from your otherwise flawless teenage gamer skin. Okay, my lawyers are saying it's actually silicone, which outside of something every guy wants to get his hands on is also why it's way better than an average loofah, which is a breeding ground for bacteria and mold. But what is Batman without his backup singers, which is why the buff bundle also comes with 2 bottles of body wash, the best cruelty-free, dye-free, vegan, cage-free, grass-fed, you name it, hippies love it, aloe vera sea salt infused amazing smelling goodness that you can rub on your body. So get over to Manscaped this second by using my link below to get the buff bundle featuring all these items for 20% off, free shipping, and a hell of a lot of sexiness to the scent you'll be rocking after using it. Congrats, you just listened to a TTS robot sell a testicle cleaning product, but here's where I started to get my own balls busted. You see, we lined up a nice ult that Samira declined courtesy of Riot's balance team being a bunch of test tube babies, and then I peace out knowing the shrapnel diarrhea was coming, only to get front row seats to the invincible effect for the first time. I backed off knowing that I had a mid lane Akali and Rout, and they both had less health than a 90-year-old with COPD who was roommates with Marlboro himself in college. But I've learned the hard way that players in this elo are impossible to underestimate, which turned Sam untouchable long enough to nuke my nips as well, so I had to think of the worst possible insult I can give to my mid after such an embarrassing play. Meanwhile, this Thresh was making sure to become the full embodiment of why I lay awake at night wondering why the fuck I made a role that relies on being paired with an actual human being in the support role. I figured I was just in need of a quick vacation up north. I heard they have Tim Hortons up there as well as wild echoes who use their ult to go back into the danger they just got away from. Thresh then did a good job of grabbing another chick by the pussy, God bless his soul if he ever tries to run for president. But anyways, I fire up the flame titties and then I just wait for that fat dramatic dubstep burn. But here's the thing, I may have been getting kills while making political jokes, but joy doesn't exist on the Rift for long periods of time, so Samira had to come in and announce that Duskblade is a busted piece of hot garbage right now. At this point I feel I've done a solid job of showing off my Thresh and my Akali skill set, but let me introduce you all to my Aatrox. Anyways, I have a run-in with Sona, whose head was too buried in her phone tweeting something dumb about her pepperoni nipples to realize she was getting murdered, but then I had to pretend I was a German car manufacturer and say I'm outie because Samira was en route, and this dumb slut was strong enough to disregard the core mechanic of towers in this game and remind me that I picked the wrong champ and items in this one. So I'm thinking maybe we just sit back, let me make little blaster powder showers on these shitters until they are low enough for us to run forward yelling charge. But the concept of Samira paired with the fact that Riot's new Duskblade defines balance from a severe vertigo-ridden sea otter's perspective made this turn out not exactly fun for us. This then started a super engaging experience for all involved that I'm sure not a single one of Uncle Rito's nepotism hires could have possibly seen coming, where we were all basically beginner bots against this literal raid boss. When she wasn't around, we were still having fun with our little useless mini games. But it was only a matter of time before she showed up in fights. At one point I thought we caught the hoe, but then I was reminded that a squishy ADC who can ult 6 times in the same fight and one tap any little twat waffle in her way has now been granted the ability to just not be touched in between kills. This obviously resulted in an experience that everyone totally wanted to keep enjoying, and it was at this point where I decided to rack up the for fun squad to do something stupid with the concept of having 5 people rush this item. I was randomly inspired to play Samira in this one in the beginning of my games, where I am one bard's fart from death continued, but my support in this one was Aoki, who was on a mission to prove to me that support gameplay can sometimes induce boners on the ADC he's supporting for. We had a buddy system going and had an arrangement that I would call him the greatest support alive if he managed to get me this kill without me dying.
You're still a little bitch.
That said, I do have to admit my life was pretty goddamn easy as an ADC with this going on, and once I got my ult I was determined to repay the favor by showing how busted it is. And if I'm being completely honest, we weren't having the bestest of games until all 5 of us finished our Duskblade, and then Swag was all like, I'll just staple them to a wall while I decide to puss out when I got my invincibility, but the boys came through and we got an easy ace. To be quite frank, I didn't know what buttons to press. I just wanted my letters to say I could ult, as Swag Daddy was making sure they stood still long enough for me to figure it out.
There we go. Oh my gosh, Rav popping off?
Then I had the brilliant idea as the coach of this team to sit in a bush for an entire minute just so that we could do something dumb like this.
Oh wait, it's not warded.
Anyways, team fights were becoming more one-sided than something with just one side, considering all it took was us to get one kill and then all 5 of us would go immune to damage for 2 seconds, so I'm sure the enemies were just as happy as fucking clams at this point. We eventually sold all our non-Duskblade items with the exception of Zwag, who fetishizes winning normal draft games over all else, so he stuck to his full build, but it didn't matter and I don't want to spoil all the plays, so you can go watch the full video with live comms over on the For Fun Squad channel. Rav out.
Rav, I've never seen ADC Samira do the least damage on the team, bro. Good job.
No way.